I got knocked out the first time. Second time I won. I feel like I outclassed my opponent. Still didn't get the contract. Fast forward 2 years later.
Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now.
All right, man. Let's jump right into it, man. Contender Series. You go in there, second round TKO punches. Man, the shit looked like a video game for real. How many times have you rewatched your old highlights? you know, what I mean?
I rewatched it a good amount of times.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And when you watch it, was there anything that you practiced, in your camp that came out like you can reveal to us now that what I mean in the fight that worked really well against Cunningham?
Yeah, I mean, I worked on my striking line. I mean, I worked on all aspects of MMA, but I really focused on just staying really tight in the pocket because I know he likes to bang. As you can see, he moves forward and he likes to throw a lot of punches. So whoever has a little bit tighter punches, whoever's headed off the center line a little bit more is going to be able to connect. And yeah, I worked on a lot of that in the camp and it showed in the fight.
Yeah, and when you did land, it just seemed like your shots were just more impactful. You know what I mean? It's just like right when it landed, when you're watching, you felt it. Like you're like, damn, that dude's tough, man, because you hit him hard.
When in the moment, it didn't feel like much. Obviously, after the fight, a couple of the fight, I was like icing my face. My face was really sore. But when I was in there, I didn't feel anything. But yeah, I mean, we're throwing hard on each other, man. That guy's definitely one of the toughest guys I've ever fought. I don't know how many times I hit him, man. He just didn't want to fall down, you know. So props to him.
And when you but
Oh, we're good. Yeah, props to him.
okay. Yeah, for sure. And I think he's the one who had that crazy story as well, right? Growing up. Like when you hear about that and you're like, damn, this dude has to be tough, man. He's been through a lot.
Yeah, actually, it's so crazy because during this fight camp, I didn't I didn't do any research or watch any of his interviews. I was so locked in, man. I was just like, I'm just gonna focus on what I can control, things like that. So when I heard that, like, I think I watched his interview like a day or two before the fight. I was like, man, this guy, he went through some stuff. His dad like put steroids into him, man. That's crazy. So he definitely came from a rough childhood, and but guys like that are dangerous. They don't have much to lose, and he came out there to fight, and I mean, he really did.
When did the emotions kick in? You know what I mean? You went to the Contender Series in 2019, then returned in 2021, and then the third time you go in there and arguably, not even arguably, you had the best performance that you could have against the best opponent that you could have, and you get the contract. Like when did the emotions kick in? Like, yo, I worked so hard and sacrificed so much, man, and now I finally get to that next step.
The emotions kicked in. I mean, at the very start of the training camp, even just like, hey, like this, I get a third opportunity. When my manager called me on the phone, he rang me on the phone. He's like, hey, like I talked to Sean and they want you on the show. I mean, the emotions kicked in right away there. I mean, I knew at that point, like I understood the assignment right there, right then and there. I'm like, I know what I need to do. So the whole camp was a battle, man. The whole camp was like a mental battle, but everybody goes through that. And I feel like I grown the most out of this camp. It was the longest camp that I've had, 13 weeks. I put everything into it. And by the time I was walking out, there was no more emotions. I mean, at that, I just knew what I needed to do and I blocked everything out and I just put my head down and I grinded. But I will say, in the fight, I was a little bit emotional. We were talking a little bit. We were talking a little bit of shit. I was telling him like, "Come on, hit me harder. Like, let's go." You can. I didn't. I wasn't yelling it, but me and him, we're real close. We're right here, right? So I was like, let's go. Come on. So I was emotional as in that aspect as far as like I was ready to die. I was like, let's see who's gonna stand here. Like let's throw and let's see who's the last person standing.
You mentioned, you're locked in. You didn't even like watch his interviews. You didn't really watch nothing about him. And you said this was the longest camp, 13 weeks. Is that what you're gonna do moving forward? Like you found kind of like your recipe of you're bringing out the best in you.
Yeah, man. Obviously, this is a little bit different scenario because this is like my last chance to get into the UFC. But honestly, that was the best camp that I've ever had, and I've learned so much from that camp. Not just like skills wise, but like mentality wise. Like just with my coaches and things like that. Like, because I'm not always only training like my jujitsu and stuff. I'm training my mind all the time. And yeah, that's the mindset I'm bringing to every single training camp, man. I mean, the longer I can train, the better. But now that I went through that, like it's really going to be only up from here as far as mindset and skill set.
Yeah, you said that this could have been your last chance, or most likely it was your last chance. Were you ready to walk away?
I'm never going to be ready to walk away. No matter what happens, I'm going to keep pushing. And that's my story, right? That's my story, man. Like, I got knocked out the first time. Second time I won. I feel like I outclassed my opponent. Still didn't get the contract. Fast forward 2 years later. Tried to fight like two or three different times on like Fury and LFA. Those fights didn't even go through. And then finally, did a whole long 13 weeks. So I'm never going to give up no matter what. But I mean, things like that, it's discouraging. Like a lot of people will look back on that and be like, how would I have reacted? But look, I mean, we're here right now, and it's all that matters. I'm happy.
Yeah, you kind of erase all of that, to be honest with you, because once you step into that UFC octagon, no one's gonna really care about that. They're just gonna care about what you can do now in the UFC on the big stage, right?
100%, man. It's about I try to live in the moment as much as I can. A lot of people ask me, so like, what are you gonna do now? Like, what's your goal? Your goal is to be champion. Things like, I mean, yes, my goal is to be champion. My goal is to go as high as I can. But you know what my goal right now is? To win this next fight, bro. That's it. It's one step at a time and one tier at a time, and that's how I see it.
You mentioned the long layoff, man. 2 years almost. What was keeping you away? Like, what exactly was going on during that time? And you mentioned, nobody wanted to fight you. That's another problem that a lot of these Contender Series guys get when they go back to the regional scene after winning on Contender Series. Like, matchups are not coming.
Yeah, so definitely a lot of that. I think that was probably the main thing. Not just being able to find a fight, injuries, like getting an opponent, but then an opponent will back out, and then it's too late, whatever. Um, I also have been really focusing on my personal training business on the side as well, so that has been taking off a lot of my time. But I just stayed training. I stayed training. I stayed ready for the right opportunity, and I didn't feel rusty out there. I felt like I was in home, and I didn't feel tired. I felt great. Um, so it was a good camp, and yeah, I mean, I had a long layoff, but I was just training, man, the whole time. I've gotten so much better, and I was actually ready to prove. I was like, it's been 2 years. Everybody's probably wondering what kind of Steven Nguyen's going to show up, and I was able to go out there and prove to everybody like I've gotten better actually.
Yeah, tremendously, man. And let's rewind back to 2019. That setback, your only setback of your professional career, seemed like it impacted you tremendously. I feel like that highlight was on like ESPN as well. You know what I mean? Like crazy. It's like you never want to be on the receiving end of that stuff. But
Right.
man, he's not even in the UFC anymore though. Alon Cruz is like fighting for Bellator. You know what I mean? You see kind of like
Yeah.
the path you guys have taken. It's a trip, right?
Yeah. It's crazy. Um, that fight, obviously, my only loss, has taught me so much in the fight game. Like I said, not really even physically, because I felt like I did great in that fight, and the flying knee caught me and stuff like that. It came out of nowhere. So it's not about physical stuff there. It was more my mental and like how it trained me to just be. I mean, seeing that knockout all the time on ESPN, right? Like Contender Series highlights and stuff like that, right? Obviously, I'm going to accept it. A loss is a loss. Everybody has gone through a loss. Like Alon Cruz has lost now, right? Everybody has lost. So it's really into the power of the mind of what you can control. And I try not to think about it. It was a good fight. Whatever. I'm a fighter, and I'm 8-1, 9-1 now, and I'm in the UFC. So that loss has only helped me grow. That's how I see it. That's it. Plain and simple. I don't even want to talk about it too much. It just helps me. That's it.
For sure, man. And how are you physically, man? Your face like healed up real quick.
Yeah, it's been what, 1 exact week now. I'm telling you, man. Like I have a great team around me. Uh, I was been doing recovery for the last. I haven't worked out at all. I haven't done anything. Just been recovering for the last 6 days. And yeah, man, I'm Wolverine, man. Healing up quick.
How you recover your face, man? What kind of recovery program you got for that?
I'm not gonna lie. The first day, I grabbed a bucket of ice, put some water in there, and I went like this, man. Boom! And just put my face in some cold ice water, and I've been doing that last few days, and it's been helping. I've been putting some CBD cream on me, and I have a massage therapist to work on my body. Did a cold plunge today. Chiropractor, Dr. Mann, he's been helping me out, getting me right. So my body feels good, man. My body feels good. Gonna take maybe a few more days off, and I'm gonna be right back to training, man. I'm more hungry than I've ever been. It's crazy.
I wonder if other fighters take that approach like you do. You know what I mean? After a fight, I feel like that's so important, so you could heal as fast as you can and heal properly. So you go to, like you said, therapists to help you out. Get, maybe you damage your arm or something. You know what I mean? A lot of fighters would just sit at home and be like, it's not, if it's not broken, I just sit and, heal. You know what I mean? They might even train on it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the day after my fight, my hand looked like Mickey Mouse glove. I was a Mickey Mouse glove here. So I wasn't gonna do any type of combat, but absolutely, recovery is not just important for the fight, like leading up to the fight. It's probably even more important after the fight. Like you got to make sure your body heals correctly. I'm only getting older, man. Like you got to make sure everything's on point, and especially at the level that I'm at now, getting into the UFC, every bit matters, and I take that very seriously.
Do you feel like you're entering the UFC at the right moment? Like all of that stuff basically happened for a reason. Like I feel like that way too sometimes. It's like certain things happen for a reason for certain people, and this could be it. Like now you're ready. But let's say you went in 2019, it could have been a different path for you.
It absolutely could have been a different path. I obviously can't see the future, can't see what will happen, but I definitely feel like everything does happen for a reason. Third time's the charm, and you know I feel this is the most polished I've ever felt, man. I feel like I really am in my prime. I just turned 30 a few months ago. I'm in my prime. Like I said, not really just physically, but mostly mentally. Like I am the most mentally like focused I've ever been ever in my life because I truly believe in myself and my skills. Um, so I really do feel like it's a perfect time.
Did the commission give you like any kind of suspension or anything like that?
Yeah, they just said, no hard sparring for like 2 weeks and no competing within the next 2 weeks. So, nothing too crazy.
Yeah, yeah, nothing too crazy. So what's the plan now? Do you feel like you take the rest of the year off and like debut early next year? Because I heard that they're booking fights to like March already.
Yeah, I would like to get in there pretty soon. As soon as I heal up, I do like to stay active, right? Like I don't like doing that 2 year layoff stuff. I'm a very active fighter, so I definitely want to fight within the next 6 months. I'm gonna meet up with my coach tonight, sit down and we'll talk, and we'll see what's up. But I'm here now. I'm here now, and like I don't have to worry about do I have to fight for LFA to do this first, or what do I have to do this? Like I'm in the UFC. I don't have to worry about where I'm fighting, who I'm fighting. I'm just gonna be focused on grinding. And when that opportunity comes up for me to fight in the UFC, I'm taking it and we're going. We're going full force on this, man. This is my run. This is my time.
Yeah, for sure, man. Perfect. And any featherweight vets, man, on the roster that you'd like to fight before they take off into the sunset?
Not really on the top of my head, man. Like honestly, I don't. I'm not the type of guy to call anybody out,
Yeah.
anyways. But I'm just my only focus is to focus on this next fight and work up the ranks, man. That's it. That's it.
Just building momentum, building a winning streak. That's the most important
I
thing,
will
huh?
say, I would say like my dream fight would be like Max Holloway. he's, he's a featherweight goat, and I've
Yeah.
seen him fight since I first started MMA, and it's like it would be more of just like an honor to be in there with him. That would be like a dream come true to fight him. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good goal, man. The dude is phenomenal. uh, for this, man, it seems like you guys are growing. You just recently added Kyle Crutchmer to the team. What I mean? He coaches as well as fight. Well, he fights, of course, but does he coach as well for you guys?
Yeah, that's my assistant coach, man. So
Okay.
Kyle Crutchmer joined our team not too long ago from AKA. Great guy. Um, has helped my wrestling grow exponentially. We've been working a lot on my takedown defense, and now that I'm going back to camp after my fight, we're going to work on my, offensive wrestling, things like that, takedowns. Yeah, he's a great coach, and we have a great team. I have a great striking coach as well, Charles Bird. I have a great head coach, Safe Sood, and great training partners. I mean, I can't really ask for a better team. We're a big family there. And every single day I show up to train, I get a little nervous. Like it's about to go down. Like everybody there keeps me on my toes. I don't go in there feeling comfortable. Like, hey, but I go in there, I put my gear on. Everybody's in there looking like a killer. Like, all right, you guys ready to go today? So I'm getting better every day. And I'm getting beat up, and I'm getting better. So I love my team.
For sure. And you make a little history too, man. I think you're the second Vietnamese fighter ever
Um,
in the history of the UFC to be in the UFC.
uh, we have Kung Lee,
Kung
and
Lee, of
then
course.
we had Nam Phan, and
Oh,
then we
that's
also
right.
have Ben Nguyen. Ben Nguyen. So
Okay, that's
yeah, so I'm the fourth. I'm the fourth UFC fighter from Vietnam in there. But I will say there's no Vietnamese fighters right now, and I really think it's been over 5 or 6 years since
right.
there has been a Vietnamese representative in the UFC. So I'm very excited about that. I'm not just fighting for myself anymore at this point. I'm fighting for a whole nation now, and that just makes me. I mean, that makes me even more fired up.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. I can't even believe I don't remember Benduin and Nam Phan because I've interviewed both guys in the
Yeah,
past.
a lot, man.
It's just, yeah, it's been yeah, exactly like you said. It's been like 5 years. I mean, it's been a while, but it's great, man. It's like you're opening up the next chapter for Vietnamese fighters. You know what I mean? The next
There's a lot of
generation. So say,
We got a lot of
hmm
talent on the way up. So this is a new era. I feel like I'm a new breed as well. A little bit different than some of the other guys. Um,
yeah,
so this will be time for Vietnamese MMA to shine. 100%.
for sure, for sure, man. Yeah, man. Go out, go back to Vietnam, do a couple little seminars, do your thing, man. Like take advantage. I think that's a huge opportunity for you. It's gonna open up eventually.
Yeah, I definitely plan on going back to Vietnam sometime in 2024. I've only been there once, and I speak fluent Vietnamese, and I come from like the most traditional Vietnamese background you can think of. Like I grew up like a straight Vietnamese child. So I'm excited to go back home and see my country and see my
Yeah,
people, and
yeah, it'd be
it'll be
awesome,
amazing.
man. Let me find out. I can catch you on a Vietnamese noodle commercial in Vietnam, like doing a little, little thing out there.
Uh, you know, eat some bún bò Huế. Man, so many
Yeah,
good food, man. So
yeah,
I'm excited. I think
phenomenal, phenomenal, man. Yeah. Yeah, great, man. Great, man. Hey, I'm here for it, man. Hopefully you do get back in, ASAP, make your debut. And man, just congratulations again, man, on, breaking through and continue to work and then representing for, your country, your team, and yourself really well, man. You're a good role model, man. I see that you're doing it by example.
and that's how I would want to do it. Like there's no other single way. I'm gonna be myself, and I'm here to change lives. To be honest, I'm here to help motivate other people, and hopefully, I can help be an influence to them to make them want to step up and do something. And that's my ultimate goal.
For sure, man. Well, you're already doing it with your business, right? Ninja training.
Ninja Win Training is my business. Yes, I started my own company, personal training business, and it's growing like crazy right now. Like all of my clients, I on a daily basis, I work with people who are trying to reach goals and trying to leave all that negativity out, bring positive energy into their lives, and it's a great feeling. I love what I do. I love my life. I love that I'm able to have martial arts no matter what I do. If it's coaching, if it's going to be commentating here soon, going to be fighting soon, and you see, martial arts is truly my life in every aspect. And I truly, I have a warrior's code, and I take that through my life.
That's phenomenal, man. Thank you, man, so much for the time, and we will speak again before
Yes,
your UFC debut.
absolutely, man. I really appreciate you reaching out, and I always love getting my interviews in with you, man.
For sure, man. For sure, man. Many more to come.